And we're here for an amazing production called My Fair Lady, and the star of the show is Alex Jennings. Thank you very, very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
And I'm sure this is the last thing you want to be doing before a show.
Yes, probably.
Well, at least you're honest, if nothing else.
No, it's fine. Absolutely fine.
Can I compliment you on this apartment here in the theatre? I've never been in such a showbiz dressing room. You're very privileged and honoured.
I know, it's fantastic. I think it's the biggest dressing room in the West End, which is rather nice, really.
Did you demand it, or did they give it you?
No, I got it. It comes with the part.
It's an amazing part, isn't it, Henry Higgins? I mean, it's just world-renowned, isn't it?
It is, and it's something I'd always wanted to do, and when I knew they were doing it at the National and Jonathan Pryce had got it, I thought, well, that's it. That's goodbye to that. And then when they were talking about Jonathan's coming to the end of his contract and me taking over, then the opportunity arose again. So yeah, it's an amazing experience, absolutely amazing. It's a fantastic part in both Pygmalion and in the musical, and I'm getting to do it at Drury Lane, and it's my first musical as well, which is...
What is it like? Because it's not easy. You're doing 8 shows a week. You've got an amazing apartment. That must soften the blow. But, I mean, it's not easy work, is it?
No, it's not. And, I mean, as I said, it is my first musical, and I've learnt such a huge amount of just about conserving energy and techniques of singing. I mean, I've played lots of big parts, mostly in sort of classical repertoire with the RSC and the National. But it's a different... It's an extension of other skills that you use in straight theatre, but it's very demanding. The vocally it is it's a big sing and it's a big talk, and it's quite energetic as well.
How do the Royal Shakespeare Company view musicals? Is it seen as not a professional way of earning a living? Is it not proper theatre? I mean, how do they view it?
I don't care how they view it. I don't think they think it's not proper theatre at all. I mean, they've done Kiss Me Kate and musical versions of Comedy of Errors and things. And the National have done lots of musicals. I mean, this started at the National. No, I don't think there's a snobbishness about it, and there certainly shouldn't be. And I mean, this is a really brilliant piece of theatre. I mean, the source material is fantastic. But My Fair Lady is a classic. It's a classic, and you feel so supported by the piece itself.
And from the opening scene, when the curtain goes up and you see the set, it just looks so perfect and brilliant and professional and everything. And some of the shows, they're all professional, but the scenery and everything is so wonderfully done. You believe 100% in this show.
It's a fantastic piece of design, and knowing that is there for you, and that your Higgins' house in town is being assembled behind you when you're singing I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face is it's an amazing thrill. I'm doing it on this stage, which is where the original production started in 1957, 8, whenever it was. It's a real thrill. I mean, I still have to pinch myself that I'm actually in this theatre where Rex Harrison did it, and I'm singing The Rain in Spain. I mean, it's amazing.
Talking of The Rain in Spain, we'll take a piece of music, the first piece of music from My Fair Lady. We're live today at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, talking to Alex Jennings, the star of the show. He plays Henry Higgins. We'll talk about that in a moment, live here on Rupel in the Afternoon. We'll do it in 3 pieces, if that's all right, so we can get some music played.
What are you playing? The
Rain in Spain now, so I'll come back out of that.
You're playing
the CD version.
Right.
So I don't think it's got you on it, never mind. Here we go. The Rain in Spain, live on Rupel in the Afternoon from the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. We're touring the West End, and we've come to one of the most famous theatres, the Drury Lane Theatre Royal, for My Fair Lady, talking to Alex Jennings. And I've got to talk to you about Higgins, because I don't know whether I'll be accused of being a male chauvinist, but I really like him. He makes me laugh.
I think that's sort of part of the trick and the charm of the part, and the design of, Shaw and Lerner Lowe, who wrote the musical. I mean, he's a nightmare, complete nightmare. But then a lot of men are, aren't they? And seem to get away with it as he does. But he has as much of a transformation as Eliza does, in a way, and he learns to sort of join the human race and not just observe from the outside. So there's a real sort of emotional journey for him to go on.
You must enjoy playing the role, because we all want to be like him in a way, don't we? We shouldn't say it, but we do.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think, yes. I mean, being a reconstructed modern man, I don't know. I mean, we've all got elements of that in us. And the sort of pleasure he gets of living in a cocoon. But it's not enough. doesn't feed the soul really. And Eliza comes in and shakes up his head and his heart, which is wonderful.
Of course, I'm Millennium Man. I wouldn't possibly be like that. But for people who don't know the story, I don't know how they wouldn't. But the story is basically about a young girl who comes to him. He's a posh bourgeoisie, middle class, highfalutin man, and she's not. And you have to train her to be, don't you? Really?
Yeah, he teaches her to speak properly so that she can. She's not asking for a huge amount. She's asking to work in a shop rather than selling flowers on the streets. But she can't get a job in a shop because of the way she speaks. So he then says he can pass her off as a duchess, and succeeds in doing that. And perhaps at some point you think at the expense of the spirit that she's shown at the beginning of the show, but in the end she absolutely hasn't lost that. So it's it's something that Shaw absolutely said wasn't a love story, but it's kind of become that really over the years.
You want it to be, don't you? Really, when you're sat there in the audience,
people do. I mean, we like to sort of feel that we're letting people decide for themselves by the end. Who knows what's going to happen? Whether if they are going to, get upstairs into the bedroom, God knows what will happen. But they kind of can't. For the time being, they press one another's buttons.
I'll talk to you in a moment about the pressure of playing Higgins. We're live today at My Fair Lady at the Drury Lane Theatre Royal, and we'll take another piece of music. I'm an Ordinary Man. BBC Radio Leicester, Rupel in the afternoon, live from My Fair Lady at the Theatre Royal on Drury Lane. And that was I'm an Ordinary Man. And it must be interesting to play this role. There must be pressure on you because you really can't allow a word to come out your mouth that isn't well spoken. And if you do that, I'm sure it gets a laugh.
No, you can't. And the songs particularly, and because it's a new experience for me, are a minefield because they're so quick and they're so linguistically so demanding and so clever that there's been a few scary moments of if you start the wrong verse at the wrong time, you're in trouble because the band are up and playing. But yes, I am. I've abandoned my kind of Essex roots in my career quite a long time ago. Really, I've sort of seem to have played mostly posh. I don't quite know why that happened. Is it
typecasting, do you think, now?
I don't know. Well, everybody assumes I'm a public school boy, but I'm not. I'm from Upminster in Essex. But I don't know. Floppy toff hair, I suppose, has done it for me.
We're talking to Alex Jennings today. You've had an incredible career, Olivier Awards, you've been at the RSC, done all kinds of things. Did you ever dream that you would be here doing a musical in the West End, or what did you want to do? Where did you want your career to go?
I did dream I would be where I am, but I didn't assume it would happen. I've had disappointments, but I've had, huge good fortune and a lot of hard work, and feel so fortunate that I'm making a very nice living doing what I absolutely love doing. I really am aware of just how lucky I am in being able to earn money doing what I love. No, it is completely a dream come true that I've played Hamlet for the Royal Shakespeare Company, and now I'm playing Henry Higgins, which is the sort of Hamlet of musicals at Drury Lane. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, really.
I've asked all the stars I've talked to in the musicals where they want to go next and what role you would like, if you could get it in any musical or in any show. What would be the ideal role for you?
I don't know. I mean, I've never had sort of shopping lists of parts. I've always been pleasantly surprised by people thinking, Alex could have a go at that and he could do that, and that's absolutely what happened with this. So there's nothing really that I've got my eyes on. I'd like to do more film, more TV than I have done recently, but the parts I'm lucky enough to be offered in the theatre tend to be hard to turn down, really. So there's nothing really that I'm really burning to do. This is enough for now.
I suppose it's very difficult for you to do anything else but this when you're in it because it takes up so much of your time.
It does, yeah, it completely does. And my children are sort of allowed to look at me briefly in the morning and then I go back to bed. So it's kind of hard domestically, they're having to get used to Daddy not being there every evening.
I suppose they could come and stay in this mammoth apartment, couldn't they?
Could. Yeah, they're quite fond of it here.
Have you thought of selling up and moving them all in? You could save yourself a fortune, couldn't you?
I know, it's not bad.
Listen, it's been lovely talking to you today. It's Alex Jennings live today at My Fair Lady, and I've got to say, congratulations on being in the show, and what a wonderful cast you're in as well. Everyone's a hit in this, aren't they? I mean, it's just marvellous, the voices and everything. The whole show is wonderfully put together. It must be a great thrill for you being with other great performers.
It is. It's a brilliant company, particularly working with, I mean, everybody's fantastic and fantastically committed, particularly working with Jo Riding, who I've long admired and who's a brilliant actress and a brilliant singer, and wonderful to work with. She's, the ideal Eliza Doolittle.
And that must be the hardest role to play. It looks simple, but to go from such a... It is the insane to the ridiculous, really, isn't it? Going from a Cockney girl to a beautifully sung and spoken performing artist. It must be amazing to get the role, but to be able to do it so brilliantly, it must be a thrill to work with her.
It is, and I understand, I don't completely understand the technicalities of it, but technically it's a big demand because Eliza starts singing, it's all chest tone, and by the end of the evening it's all in the head, and that's a tall, very tall order.
And she does a lot of screaming and shouting as well, doesn't she?
Lots of screaming and hollering. We all do quite a lot of that.
It's a great show. It's My Fair Lady. It's on at the Theatre Royal on Drury Lane. Thank you very, very much for talking to us there, Alex Jennings.
Thank you.